Hey, my lovelies, it's Mitch here. I'm just coming on to do the yearly Tarot Scope guidance reading. So I just want to say New Year blessings to you. And I'm just really, really excited to do this video for you guys and to see what magic 2024 has in store for us all. So when I do these tarot scope videos, then I always sort of pick a deck that I'm going to work with throughout the year. And then that will also be the deck that I use when I break off and do the monthly month to month tarot scope videos as well. So as well as the yearly one, you get obviously all the little bits in between. Now, last year in 2023, we worked with the Bones Arcana Tarot, which was a great deck, but was very dark. So I know some people were complaining they found it quite hard to see the card on the screen. So this year I've been aware of that, and I've made a point of picking a deck which is a little bit lighter, but one I still feel very connected to. So the deck that I'll be working with is Tarot of the Old Path. Now this is quite an old school deck, but it's one of my absolute favorites. It's a really beautiful deck. It's a really powerful deck. So I'm really, really excited to work with this and see what we need to know about for 2024. And obviously this is a sort of video which you may have to sort of go back over from time to time just to re-get your bearings with. And what we will do as well at the end, we'll follow through with a conclusion for the whole of 2024, what its main focus or ethos or message is. And that will be discovered within my deck, which is the Wizard Within Oracle. So yeah, let's do this. So like I say, I have pre-channeled the cards already. So let's have a look, see where the energies are taking us, and just see if we can make a little bit of sense of it all. So as we're starting off the year, then we're hitting into the energy of January time, and we're going into the King of Pentacles. Now, when the King of Pentacles shows, this is all about wealth, abundance, everything coming good, everything coming together. So this is going to be a really, really important time for kind of your passions, your ideas to just flow, to grow, to flourish. So for some of you that maybe are wanting to sort of look at new properties or a new job, or maybe turning sort of a hobby into something perhaps a little bit more full time or full on. Basically, there's going to be this prosperity, this abundance, this wealth that naturally comes in for you. It's going to be a great time to just really go after your hopes, your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. I sort of feel as I'm holding this card that a lot of you have already been sort of laying down the foundations, putting in the sort of behind the scenes work, and you're ready to materialize and bring it all together. And that's really what this is about. And this doesn't mean that you guys are materialistic at all. It just means that you've worked really, really hard with ideas, with thought patterns, and now you're ready to welcome them into the physical world. So, King of Pentacles, it tends to be a card, like I say, of wealth, prosperity, abundance, things just in quite a comfortable space materialistically. This doesn't mean that we're all going to be rich beyond our wildest dreams, but if you've been through some stuff, if there's been a bit trying and a bit testing, maybe you're starting to see a little bit more of a success story than you've had in recent times. So it does tend to be, you know, one of the sort of more comfortable cards of the tarot. So I do feel like a lot of us are going to have quite a comfortable January from a financial space, and also sort of looking at how we want money to work for us throughout the year ahead as well. So it's kind of stopping and celebrating what's been discovered, what's been achieved already, but it's also what's still to sort of flourish and to come, and the kingdom can kind of become bigger essentially. So there is a bit of a focus on materialism. But with January, we are very much in the Capricorn energy as well. And Capricorns are sort of those natural born leaders. They tend to work quite hard, they don't tend to rest for too long. So it would make sense with the kind of king coming in. He's very disciplined as a sort of a figure. He knows what he's got to do to make his world work for him, essentially. Now then, as we're sort of moving into February time, we're going into the Six of Swords. Be a little bit careful, be a little bit cautious as you move into February, because the Six of Swords takes us into a space where we're traveling forward, but we're having to be a bit careful, a bit cautious of our steps that we take. So this often kind of comes in when we're maybe going through some stuff, when we're maybe shedding or detaching. This could be some sort of physical, emotional, spiritual, or mental stuff that you're clearing out. It's also sometimes feeling a little bit unsure of the path moving forward. So sometimes we feel a little bit lost, we feel a little bit unsure of where we're actually going to. And sometimes we just have to keep walking. There's a bit of a focus on that with this. But what's really, really important is these stepping stones, they're working through the energy of the swords. So they're sort of cutting away any restrictions, any bindings, any setbacks. So February time for some of you, you might have this kind of higher consciousness or download coming in where you know what you need to be doing, you know how you want to be moving forward, and it's being brave enough to make the changes that are needed to receive something of better quality, because these stepping stones beyond the swords and everything else, you've got this big sort of land in the sort of kind of forefront, which is where he's aiming to get essentially. So it's moving through the cycles to get to something a bit better. So just be careful if you've been, when we go into February, because some of you might feel briefly vulnerable, you might feel like a little bit overwhelmed with things here, but some of this is like space clearing more than anything, I feel. Now, as we're moving into March, we sort of move into an extension of that, really, because March time we're going into the Eight of Cauldrons. Cauldrons in this deck represent the cups in conventional tarot. So Eight of Cauldrons or Eight of Cups, it's walking away from anything negative, any restrictions, anything that robs your inner sanctum, your happiness, anything that just holds you back, whether it's people, circumstances, or situations. You're just leaving it behind. So you'll notice here he's dropped some of these cups and he's walking away from all of this, and he's taking what he needs and he's moving forward. So this is a really, really important time to keep the great things that matter, to keep the great things that add emotional wealth and prosperity, but it's moving away from anything negative, it's moving away from anything restrictive, and it's a really, really important time to stand up for what you believe in. So March kind of might feel a little bit karmatic for some of you guys as well, but it may well be that you're walking away from just those things that don't add purpose, that don't add merit, that don't add value. And like I say, that could involve people, circumstances, situations, jobs, families, friends, relationships. It could be all of that, but it's keeping everything that really enriches your heart. So if you know there are things that are toxic or negative, it's just not putting up with them, really. Now, it's quite interesting because this tells quite an interesting story, actually, because as we do that, we're moving into the energy of April, and April takes us into the Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune is a bit like a big hamster wheel of life. Some day things are up, some day things are down. Everything is transitional, everything is temporary. Nothing stays the same forever. But often what we get with the Wheel of Fortune, we tend to get a deeper appreciation, a deeper acceptance for who we are as people. We tend to get a lot of self-discovery with the Wheel of Fortune. We tend to maybe go on a little bit of our own journey of spiritual ascension or awakening, or having the next cycle, the next level of that. So some of you might really throw yourself into your own personal development. There could be some sort of teaching, some learnings, some courses or skills or workshops that you go on. Some of you may go on a little bit of a journey of self-discovery and just really feel like you're sort of shedding the old cycles, the old patterns, the old ways that no longer work for you. Often the Wheel of Fortune takes us into a space where we feel a bit reborn as well. So it's usually sort of breaking free from conditioning systems, things that just don't add merit or purpose, So it is a little bit of a journey of rebirth, a bit of a cycle of change, hence why she's sort of naked in the card here. And I think it's just moving out of anything stagnant, to really embark on the truest and the realist, authentic version of who you actually are as a person. So you may well feel that this is a massive shake-up time in your life. Wheel of Fortune also tends to welcome in harmonious energy, prosperity, types of abundance, both materialistic but in heart richness as well. So you may feel like by sort of moving away from these old cycles or these old sort of patterns that no longer work for you, you might just feel alive again. There might just be this feeling of everything clicking into place, everything coming together, because it is often a time of spiritual transcendence when it shows. Now that takes us really nicely into May time. So May, we're going into this energy of rebirth with the world. World is a very popular card. It's a very powerful card when it shows, and the world is all about magic. It's about the end of anything negative and restrictive. It's the beginning stages of something brand new. So almost where she was being cocooned in the previous card, a bit like in sort of a bit of a womb, if you want, she's actually kind of found herself here. She's sort of flourished. I say she because it's she in the card, but obviously this represents men as well. And the world is about, like I say, the end of anything negative. It's the beginning stages of something brand new. It's feeling alive. It's really connecting to your higher purpose. What are you here for? What have you come back to experience at this point in time? What does life mean to you, or what do you want it to be moving forward? The world is almost like the world is in the palm of your hand, and within reason you can have whatever dreams, whatever adventures, whatever journeys you want to experience, as long as you're not hurting or harming anybody. This comes in a lot when there's travel as well, so maybe some of you in May time are going to be experiencing quite a bit of travel. That could be in this country, but it could also lend itself to adventures overseas. And that could be short term, but it could also be longer term as well. So it's really being true, real, honest with yourself. How do you want your life to be? What do you want to be part of? What do you want to discover? What do you want your world to be made up of? How do you want to live your life? And it's making that kind of real committed choice that you're going to have the best of what the world physically allows you to experience. So it's going to be quite exciting, actually, May time for you guys. Now, as we're sort of moving into June, we're going into a victory card. So we're going into the Six of Rods. Six of Rods is the same as Six of Wands in conventional tarot. And the Six of Rods or Wands is about victory, it's about success, it's about celebration. So through that transition of the world, I think if some of you have been lacking in confidence or self-respect or just appreciation of who you actually are, there's going to be some celebrations. There's going to be a little bit of an awareness, a heightened awareness of actually knowing that you guys are fabulous and you're good enough to be just yourselves. Because very often we spend our life critiquing, judging, putting ourselves down, holding ourselves back. And this is almost just recognizing your successes, your victories, the journey that you've been through, and being really proud of who you are. So there's a focus with this whole time period on authentic truth, authentic living. So that's also coming in mega strong for you as well as we're moving into the energy of June. So I think it's going to be happy. It's going to be sort of a bit party time as well. June tends to be a little bit party-ish. So there may be some really good experiences, some really good connections that you have around you as well. Now, as we're moving into July, be a bit cautious, be a bit careful, because we're going into a little bit of a curveball energy, and we're going into the Three of Swords. Three of Swords represents a card of feeling a little bit lost. There could be some depression, there could be some heartbreak, there could be some sorrow, there could be some abrupt endings that come out of the blue or feel a little bit unexpected. Sometimes this card shows when people are going through cycles of loss or grief. So there may be something that happens or presents itself in an independent way. But because this is a collective reading, there could be something that happens with July externally around us. Obviously, the last time we really felt this was the COVID stuff, obviously, and when the world got shut down. I'm not saying it's going to be that, and I really hope it's not that. But there could be something else that takes place or happens and causes like mass sorrow, mass loss, mass uncertainty. So just tread with care with July, because there's something that might come in that might feel a little bit uncomfortable for some of us. It could be on a personal level that July links you with the loss of loved ones in the spirit world. So maybe it's just a time where we feel a little bit sensitive, a little bit vulnerable, and the grief maybe feels a bit more louder than it would usually do. So maybe it's for some of us, we're going to experience that as well. But just be careful with this time period. But as we're moving into August time, whatever that is going to be relatively short-lived, because we're going into the High Priestess. Now, the High Priestess is that place of power, that place of magic. She's really, really able to connect with both realms, both sides of life. So she has a focus and an appreciation for the physical world, the physical matter, what we have to accept and go through. But she's also very connected to the higher realms, nature, the earth, the elements, and of course the spirit world, and other elemental energies as well. So the high priestess is very magical. She's often sort of known as being able to exist in two realms, in two walks of life, and within this comes a lot of philosophy. So whatever July time presented or offered, you might have to go through some hardship or some upset, but there'll be heightened awareness with this August time, and there'll be this sense of illumination. The high priestess really focuses on her own truth, her own magic, and it might be that you're making some changes that are forevermore. They might be life changing, but they will work for you. So definitely with August, we're refinding ourselves. We're getting back to that higher vibration, and we're just not sacrificing our soul. So again, there's some healing that comes in with this, really. Now, a bit of a back and forth with this sort of next couple of months. So be careful as we're moving into September time. We've got the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords indicates there could be some deception, there could be some sneakiness, there could be some underhanded energies at play. Again, it could be with friends, family members, partners, work colleagues, outside situations that you find yourself in. Obviously, I can't see what this is exactly, but just be careful. Don't be too trusting of people. If you're getting that psychic antenna kicking in, if you feel like someone maybe is a little bit disingenuous or not giving you the complete truth or the realness of the energies, just really listen to that, because our psychic body always tries to pre-warn us and make us aware if there's sort of underhanded or sort of shady shit going on. And that's really what this card is about. So there could be some people in your life that need you more than you need them. There could just be some snakes in the grass. Just be careful is all I'm going to say. Don't be too trusting with this time period. And it does kind of follow into October, so there could be something that kind of goes on for a little bit of time, because we're moving into the Nine of Rods, also known as the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands is protecting your energy. It's being very cautious, very careful. It's almost looking out for hidden enemies, hidden agenda. It's almost like guarding your position, your post, but it's trying to listen. This comes in a lot when there's been some hearsay, some gossip, some things taken out of context. So whether there may be someone that's around you that's maybe tried to tarnish your name or sabotage you a little bit, or just being a bit of a pain in the ass. And don't give away your power, because I think what's really important with psychic attack, with hexes, with shady energy, that energy only affects us if we buy into it. So stay firm in your truth, stay kind of at your post, don't give away your power. Be aware, be cautious, look at the people that are connected with the situation, because it may be more than one person, but don't get entangled in it too much, because by doing that, by staying in your own truth, you will come out of this victorious, whatever it is. Now, as we're sort of moving into the energies of November time, we're going into the Magician. The Magician is one of the best cards you can get within the tarot. It's all about magic. It's all about positive changes. It's all about manifesting. So it's moving out of the drama. It's moving out of anything restrictive or negative, and it's finding balance, and it's carving a footprint. It's carving a rhythm, a vibration that works for you, and that's maybe something very independent. So the cycle, the magic, the energy that you're on may be very different from other people. You may find that you have to leave some people behind in order to step up and to rise, but the Magician can create real amazing experiences on their own format, on their own setting. Very much a little bit like the Harry Potter kind of card of the tarot, in the sense of, there's magic to be found, there's magic to be had here. So don't devalue, don't hold yourself back. Focus on what you can bring to the table, focus purely on your energy. And like I say, just don't get caught up in all of the crap around you, really. And finally, with December time, we're going into the Five of Rods, also known as the Five of Wands. December sees us in the energy of a little bit of conflict. There could be a little bit of battle going on. Now, I see this in two ways. Obviously, it is Yuletide and Christmas time, so there could be some battles going on within family members or friends. I mean, that can be quite stressful for people at Christmas, so there may be that. But I also think for some people, this might actually just be removing and kind of stepping away from all that commercialism of what Christmas is about. So some of it might be the conflict of not getting caught up in the pressures, the anxieties to make Christmas special or fabulous or as perfect as it can be, or as, you know, expensive as it can be. It could be that some of you guys are just really detaching from all of that commercialism and thinking, do you know what, we're just going to have a simple Christmas. That's what we've done for a long time now, me and my family. I've said on previous videos, we don't buy presents, we just give cards and have the day together, and it means so much more than getting bombarded with all of the rubbish or the commercialism or the pressures, because it can feel like a pressure cooker of energy. So it's stepping out of that. So this might just be on that sort of front. It could be with individuals, and if it is, you'll deal with those accordingly. But it's allowing change to happen so your own inner sort of energy isn't compromised. Sometimes the Five of Rods also shows when there's internal conflict. So if maybe some of you are just putting internal pressures upon yourself, be gentle, be careful, you know, give yourself that gift of self-love rather than conflict or struggle. So just be cautious there. So that is the year ahead in a tarot nutshell. And just to end, I've pulled us a Wizard Within Oracle just to see what the overall theme or message is. And we've got the energy of the Black Dragon. Now, this looks a bit scary, but don't panic. So when the Black Dragon shows, this is all about moving away from restrictions, bindings, negativities, and it's honoring. It's being able to overcome the sort of the evil or the dark, if you like. So this is actually a card about light triumphanting and winning over darkness. So I think that might be the ongoing theme for 2024. And you might see it in very small, minor ways, or you might see it in more bigger or larger exaggerated ways, but definitely light overcoming darkness is the theme. So even though this wizard is tangled up and he's a little bit bound and restricted and what feels like the energy of the dragon here, he can actually use his magic to untangle, to unbind himself, and he can put the fire out with the magic, with the light that resides in his own heart center. So that's really been encouraged throughout 2024 for you guys. So a bit deep, but it's definitely there for you. So I hope you can make sense of this. I'm going to leave this reading with you. Stay well, stay safe, stay fabulous. Have a beautiful 2024. I'm really, really excited. I think it's going to be an amazing one. And I will look forward to seeing you guys throughout the year at various places, whether it be on the Zoom or Facebook or at my tour. It'd be great to see you guys on tour or at the various psychic fairs and other cheeky events that are happening. So have a beautiful one, look after yourselves, and I'll see you very soon. Take care, love and blessings. Bye for now.